Commander Barak in the actual fight against the Canaanites under Sisera. JG 5. 5-16 Or, if Meroz lay on defeated Sisera's escape route, perhaps its inhabitants failed to detain him. JG 4. 17 The fact that the Bible account next relates Yael's courageous act in killing Sisera lends some support o text to acute miritra longo. Meshach 382 Prophet gave assurance that if ditches were dug in the dried up torrent valley, Jehovah would fill them with water. 2 Kai 1. 1. 3. 4-19. This occurred, and the reflection of the early morning sun upon the water made it look like blood to the Moabites, possibly because of red clay in the freshly cut ditches. The illusion deceived them into thinking the allied armies of Israel, Judah, and Edom had turned on one another. It was not unreasonable for them to think this, in view of the fact that they knew of the jealousy between Israel and Judah. Also, the Edomites were no lovers of the men of Judah, who were allied with Israel on this occasion. 2 Kai 3. 20-23. Compare 2 ch 20. 10, 11, 24, 25. Thinking their enemies had slaughtered one another, the Moabites shouted, "So now, to the spoil, O Moab!" and entered the camp of Israel, only to be put to flight. Israel followed up by destroying the Moabite cities, stopping up their springs, and filling their tracts of land with stones, until they got to the city of Kir-Haresoth Kir of Moab. 2 Kai 3. 23-25. When King Mesha found himself trapped, he took 700 swordsmen and tried in a counterattack to break through to the king of Edom, perhaps because he thought that there he would meet with the weakest resistance, but he was unable to do so. Finally he took his firstborn son who was going to reign in place of him and offered him up as a burnt sacrifice upon the wall. 2 Kai 3. 26, 27. The majority of commentators agree that Mesha offered up his own son as a sacrifice to his god Chemosh. The few who think otherwise say it was a captured son of the king of Edom that was sacrificed, citing Amos 2. 1 as evidence, where reference is made to Moab burning the bones of the king of Edom for lime. Though grammatically the Hebrew will allow for such an interpretation, this latter suggestion seems contrary to other known facts. For example, it was unheard of for Moabites and Ammonites, Israel's neighbors, to offer up their enemies as sacrifices to their gods, but it was a known practice of their religion to offer their own children as burnt sacrifices to appease the anger of their gods. 12. 30, 31. Mix 6, 7. It is therefore understandable why this Chemosh worshipper, Mesha, faced with imminent danger of defeat, would have resorted to such drastic measures. The Moabite Stone. The Moabite stone was discovered at Hibban Dibban in 1868. It is generally accredited to Mesha, and its contents are usually assigned to the period beginning with the events recorded in the 3rd chapter of 2 Kings. In this famous inscription, Mesha commemorates his breaking Israel's domination, which he says lasted 40 years. There are also various comments made therein about the places Mesha captured: Geba, Ataroth, Nebo, Jashaz. In boasting of his being very religious, of building cities and a highway, as well as of a victory that he claims over Israel, Mesha gives all the credit to the god Chemosh. Mesha also knew of Israel's god Jehovah, for in the 18th line of this document the tetragrammaton is found. There Mesha brags, "I took from there the vessels of Yahweh, dragging them before Chemosh." Picture, Volume 1, p. 946. However, his own defeat and the sacrifice of his son are, as one would expect, omitted. Biblical Archaeology Review, May June 1986, p. 57 observes, monumental inscriptions on freestanding stones or temple walls were produced for propaganda purposes and for the glorification of the national god and the country's ruler. Hence, it is not surprising that Mesha makes no mention of the military campaign of the kings of Israel, Judah and Edom against his country, of which the Bible gives us a detailed account. 3. Heb. Memidal.Shah. A son of Shaharaim by his wife Hodesh. Mesha became a family head in the tribe of Benjamin. 1 ch 8. 1, 8-10. 4. Heb. Memidal.Shah. One of the limits of the region inhabited by the descendants of Joktan. Ge 10. O textoi acute miritra longo. Mesulmuth 383 Babylonians 8 animals declared unclean by the Mosaic law. 2. They would not be careful to see that the animals were properly bled, some perhaps being strangled. 3. The pagans often first sacrificed the animals to their gods, considering the eating of such meat as a part of worship of these gods. Dar 1. 8. Compare 1 Co 10. 18-20, 28. Later, after Daniel had been advanced to a high governmental position in the court of the king, Nebuchadnezzar, at Daniel's request, appointed Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego over the administration of the jurisdictional district of Babylon. Dar 2. 48, 49. Refuses to bow to image. Meshach and his 2 companions again came to the king's notice because of refusing, in the sight of all the other government personnel, to bow down before the great image Nebuchadnezzar had made. With full faith in Jehovah, they told Nebuchadnezzar that they would not join in serving the king's